to another video. This isn't going to be about the pack today because that video is going to be finished probably tomorrow or maybe even Thursday now, because there's other bits I need to do which I just can't do today. I've done all the weathering, bits and pieces are done. So I'm doing a piece today on becoming a Ghostbuster in 2023 on a budget. Now, I don't want to take anything away from anyone who maybe sells the kits and stuff like that and the starter packs. And, you know, everyone's got to make a living. I mean, but there's two ways you want to think about this. You either want to be screen accurate or you're on a budget, right? So if you want screen accuracy, you're going to be paying a premium, potentially buying it from overseas, because in the UK, it's not that easy to get hold of some of this stuff. A lot of it is American made, American distributed. There's no real distributors in Europe. There's a couple, but there are a lot of makers in the UK who make this stuff from scratch, 3D printing and pressing, all that kind of stuff. So I'm not taking anything away from anyone who has a business. You know, everyone's got to live and do their bits and pieces. But if you're on a budget and you want to become a Ghostbuster, you may have just got a pack and you've been waiting 34 years to get a Proton pack. And because of the price point of this, you've managed to get one. You know, how good is that? It's fantastic. For what we got, you got an out of the box, bloody good looking, well made, well put together, working Proton pack with all the lights and all the sounds, all that kind of stuff. Okay, there's things that ain't quite right with it, but for the price point, it's amazing. You've just got that and now you're thinking, I want to be a Ghostbuster. Of course you do. I've been a Ghostbuster now for nearly 2 years, and I can tell you, I bought my stuff myself. I scrimped and saved for a lot of Amazon stuff. I did buy, and I have bought some stuff that isn't from Amazon, but most of the stuff that's on my list today is from Amazon, and it is the cheapest way to do this. So the first thing you're going to want is a flight suit, right? Whether you're going Ghostbusters 1 or 2, flight suit, this thing is going to set you back around 32 to 37 or 38 pounds on Amazon. And you can get the blue flight suit as well, which is GB2. It's not quite the right colour, but with a little bit of work and a bit of washing, that kind of stuff, you can get it to the right kind of colour for Ghostbusters 2. And with having said that, there's another couple of things you're going to want with this, and one is obviously the no ghost. Now this one isn't screen accurate. It's more screen accurate than I had there in the first place. I had a little bit smaller one, but this is probably about the right size. And this is kind of de facto what you know, kind of the first thing you want on your flight suit. You want to let everyone know that you're a Ghostbuster, and that's what it's all about. And the next thing you're going to want to need is a name tag. Now it's up to you whether you go with your own name or you have one of the characters stands or Egon, Spengler, whatever you want to do. It's completely up to you. Most people I know who cosplay as a Ghostbuster, they have their own name. And that kind of makes sense, right? Because you're your own Ghostbuster, you're not someone else. But you can cosplay as one of the guys, you know, it's completely up to you. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't. And for a starter pack, that's all you really need. The flight suit and the no ghost patch and your own name tag patch is all you need. And for that, you're talking less than £50. Now guys, I am listing stuff, and in the descriptions, all the things I talk about today, or most of the things I talk about today, from the UK. And I'm doing that because I'm from the UK, it's where I bought it, and I know that most of the people who are watching these videos at the moment are from the US, and you can probably find better deals in the US. I have to say, when I search for some of this stuff, a lot of US sites come up, and the money's even better because you're saturated in the US with Ghostbuster stuff. That's where it all kind of originates from, and you know, you guys do things like Halloween like no one else in the entire world. So that's your basic starter kit for being a Ghostbuster, right? There are people selling just this flight suit, the name tag and the no ghost patch for over 120 quid. I've seen it on various sites that I'm not going to name because I don't want to take any business away from anyone. But, you know, I see it all the time. That, for less than £50, people are selling for over double the money. And, you know, when we go on to kind of the next level stuff that you kind of want to need, you're going to want to get yourself a pair of boots. These are really cheap. They're comfortable. They've got massive soles in them. Look, they're really comfortable, but they are one of the cheap brand ones that I got. And the brand of this is Savage Island. I don't know. It's something I got, again, from Amazon. really cheap. £40 I paid for them. And you can go for something more comfortable and more expensive. Sometimes I wear my Solomons because I'm a photographer and I do a lot of walking, and then my walking boots, they're more comfortable, they're black, they kind of work. Just depends on whether you want to be a bit more screen accurate or not. And the next thing I want to look at is a belt. So you've got your boots. Next thing I want to look at the belt. I'm not going to talk about some of the stuff that's on my belt because the guy got this off for 3D printed. It doesn't do the radio anymore anyway. But you know, this stuff you can find on Etsy. This is about your basic startup stuff. So we're talking about the belt and the key fobs. The key fob set, the belt I think I got relatively cheap. It's about 12, 13, 14 pounds, something like that. But the key fobs, there's 3 key fobs on this. They set me back, I think, £20, something like that. Because they have to be made. You don't really get these kind of fobs anymore. They have to be kind of made, and it is what it is. The next thing I want to think about is going to be something that attaches to your belt, but also attaches to your flight suit. Now this, if you look down here, this is the hose connection to your belt that goes on. The hose comes out there and kind of goes around, attaches to one of the key fobs that you put on the back. It kind of attaches on via a little clippy bit there. And this is the hose. So you can either get a yellow hose or a clear hose, depending on where you want to go for. These are in the description again as well, yellow or clear. You just want to make sure you get the right size hose. And this, if you didn't know, it has never really been officially we haven't been officially told what this is what I'm trying to say. And the fandom and everything else, you know, is kind of unofficial thing. What that is a pee hose. So that when you're ghostbusting, you don't have to worry about going for toilets. Huh? And that's why the hose is yellow as well, so you know. And next thing that you really want to get hold of is a pair of gloves. These are really cheap. I think they're about 16, 17, 18 pounds, something like that. But get them, they just sit in your belt like that, unless you want to wear them, of course. And then you want to look at elbow pads. Now these are my original elbow pads that I got that I had to dye, and they went a bit funny because the cotton and the synthetic didn't dye properly, but they are my original, and these are the GB. They're a little bit bigger, but they're the right colour too. I bought these recently. They're not expensive, but these things are like gold dust. When they're in, they're in. When they're not. They just go really quickly. So if you can find these, use a link in the description and get hold of a pair. I waited a long time for these. Literally, I think about 3 months. I looked the other day, I ordered them on like September 3rd, and they came, you know, halfway through December recently. So I'm happy I got those. And that's kind of your next step, your next kind of level, your intermediate level for cosplay. That will do you for most things, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so for all of that, my maths is a little bit dubious. It's around £200 for what we've just said. So it's, you know, if you source all this stuff in pieces, you know, not together as a whole. If you want to buy it all as a whole, you know, different. You want to get it all for next week, then you're going to be paying the premium price for it. But for this stuff and for what it is, buying it all separately is going to save you a ton of money. There are a few other things I have, which I'll talk about now. This is the Ruby's PKE meter. Works quite nicely, does a good job. This has gone up significantly since I bought it. This was literally, I think I paid something ridiculous like £22 for this back when I got it a couple of years ago. These have shot up now. You can't get these for less than 80, maybe even £90 now. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So if you want one of them, good luck to you. You can get the holsters. The holster for that is on eBay. Probably your best bet. There's a link in the description. The other thing I've got a hat as well. You can find them anywhere. I haven't really listed that, but I like to wear a hat. This is the disguise version of the trap. It does nothing. It's just an empty box. Nothing opens up. Again, when I bought this 2 years ago, it was ridiculously, stupidly priced. Like £15 or £20. You know, next to nothing. Now, if you want this, you might as well get the rubies one that opens, because this is more money. It's ridiculous. I don't even understand why it's gone up so much. It's crazy. So in the description is the rubies one, which is about £40, where you hit a button up here and actually it opens up. I see them all the time at events. Everyone loves those ones. And there are bits and pieces. Well, obviously I've got the radio on there. And I've got the gizmo. They're something slightly different. So they're from Etsy. You have to look around for those, because the radio, the person who 3D printed the radio for me, no longer is in business. And the gizmo, I can't remember where else was last year. So, but they obviously aren't the cheaper side of things. As you get through this, you're going to pick, as soon as you start buying the stuff, you're going to pick up what people have. You're going to go to events, maybe cons, and you're going to get, you know, a good idea of what you want on your belt. I had, at one point I had this on my belt, but it started to smash into stuff and, you know, bits and pieces, so I took it off. I've had other things on my belt and I've taken them off, and it just is one of those things. So that is about it. So for a couple £100, which, trust me, in terms of cosplay and getting a cosplay together, is relatively good. I mean, I've got cosplays that go into the thousands if you want to get into cosplay. You know, seriously, you know, I'm a stormtrooper, and my stormtrooper costumes are, one of them's worth, you know, a lot of money, let's put it that way. But then the next sort of step you want to look at is the packs. Now, some of you probably already got this and you're thinking about being a Ghostbuster, but if you haven't got this, you know, there are options out there. This one, obviously, you can't buy now. If you want to buy it, you've got to buy it second hand, or at least new, but from someone who backed it before. They're probably going to be charging you 2 or 3 times the price they paid for it. But there are other options as well. So you have the Spirit Pack, if you want to go relatively cheap, or the cheapest current option of something that looks good out of the box and actually does something, so makes noise and stuff like that. Or you could go for something really serious and buy that as a kit. If you wanted to save some money, you could buy it, you know, out of the box working. Some, you know, they got Ben of Kent, but I don't think Ben of Kent makes them anymore. I think he just sells the kits. His kits are really good. You put them together, I see them all the time, and then you buy all the electrics, all the lights, all that kind of stuff separate, and you put it all together yourself. You could probably start around £700 to £1,000 for one of the kits that's got all the bits and pieces. Or you could go to somewhere like Proton Packs UK, Proton something UK, and buy the Afterlife proper film replica out of the box, working with everything working on it, for £3,600. It just depends on what you want to do. I mean, I've got that as my Afterlife, that's done. I've weathered that to where I want it to be, and I'm happy. You know, but think about your pack last. If you haven't got a pack and you want to start being a Ghostbuster, you want to start cosplaying a Ghostbuster, this is where to start. So start really small. Buy your bits and pieces one at a time. Get your flight suit first, and then get your no ghost and your tag on you, and that's all you really need to start, honestly. And that's only going to set you back £50, give or take. And then your boots and other things on top of that. I hope this helps some of you. I'm really pleased to start bringing you videos on this stuff. You know, I've got other channels that I do other bits and pieces for. My cosplay is generally on another channel, which I do with my gaming and stuff like that. But for this, I think I'm going to keep on this channel. I've turned this channel into the Portsmouth Ghostbusters Andy channel. So hopefully it will stay that. And hopefully you'll subscribe, because I've got more videos coming. I've got the final video of this being put together, weathered, all the modifications I've done to it I'm going to list. Give you the details of how I modified them, and you know, the kind of techniques I used to get the special kind of look and stuff that I did. I had a lot of fun with that. You know, doing this has been you know, a real pleasure. And then I've got coming up soon a big Ghostbuster event, which daily I'm getting more people going to be coming down to it. So on April the 1st, somewhere in Portsmouth, I don't know yet. I'm still trying to get the location tagged down. We are going to be getting together with a Screen Actor Ecto one from a good friend of mine, Carl, who does that, which is brilliant. And we are just going to have fun raising money for cancer research. If you're interested, if you're a Ghostbuster or you're starting out and you want to come to that, you've got a couple of months to get yourself sorted. Leave me a comment down below, let me know, or find me on Facebook. There's a link in the description here to my Facebook group. Come and find me on Facebook and give me a message and let me know. It'll be in Portsmouth, which is the south of England in the UK. So if you're anywhere near this, or you're coming over from somewhere and you're going to be holidaying around here around the April 1st kind of date, imagine chasing ghosts on April Fool's Day. Kind of makes sense, right? Let's do this. Right, thank you very much for joining me on this video. If you got anything out of it, please whack a thumbs up. And I'll see you on another one really soon. Take care.